let's talk about the WarZ, because the last time we talked about this is so good. I imagine you guys are so excited with me saying I fucking hate Sergey Tito. This guy is a massive, massive strain in the gaming community, and honestly, if he fell down a well, I probably wouldn't shed too many tears. This guy seems like a massive cunt, and potentially a tool as well. And I'm not afraid to give my opinion on him. I do not like Sergey Tito. From what I've heard of him, he seems to be incredibly incompetent, incredibly useless, and a greedy douchebag in terms of a developer. However, why do I say this? Well, an ex-forum mod named Devin gave out a little bit of information during his time with Sergey. As in, he learned their business models, because he was the forum mod and all that stuff. They went over the business models, and eventually they fired him for something he did, but I'm going to go through this entire forum post he has, and then I'm going to talk about it. So, let us begin. So he starts with, Ex-forum mod Devin here. Let me tell you some stuff you can spot on for a new YouTube video. My forum account was hacked. My fault. They deleted a lot of posts. I was demodded and banned, got my computer secure, remodded and unbanned, and took care of business as usual. Except their company is full of dumb fucks and didn't back up the forums at all. No backups whatsoever. Sergey then took upon himself to tell Kook to demote me for my fuck up that could have been reversed if they were not so fucking stupid. I then made a long post on the forums about how I knew this was coming and I was sorry and would not be supporting their company that did not support their unpaid volunteer moderators that spent over 100 plus hours answering their customers' questions and concerns, as well as relaying them the ideas the community had for their bullshit game. I was then banned for making a rage quit thread permanent, and here is the even funnier part. My in-game account banned under the excuse I requested a refund. So, since I didn't sign any sort of NDA for those fuckfaces, here are some interesting facts. WarZ is a direct port over from War Inc. They literally took the game and added NPCs, made a large map, and changed around camera angles and gun settings while adding more functionality and switching over some things. All art, however, was actually done in-house by their amazing art team. Those guys were the best to know. They were in touch more with the community than Kook. They randomly ban accounts that have a certain amount of time spent playing in-game, knowing they are hooked on the game, so they rebuy the game. Their anti-hack is actually functional, but here's the kicker. Want to know why their bans are temporary the first time around? 0.8% hacking, try an extremely large portion of the player base is hacking. If they banned everyone, they'd have a mass refund issue on their hands, and no one to play their piss-poor of an excuse game. They plan to halt development and abandon the game in 6 months if revenue is not enough for them, i.e. people are not buying GC and spending the fuck out of it. Take note, if they do not get enough revenue, they will have enough revenue to pay for the game development for over a year at this point in time already. But if they don't get enough to give themselves regular raises, they will stop making the game and shut down the servers and website. Here is a proof of ban picture and a proof of me not requesting a refund. I will link to this right afterwards. Okay. Now, it goes on to say, one guy asks in the thing, he says, that is shocking, although sadly not surprising. You're 100% sure that's true, because shit's gonna hit the fan with their player base, and if it is. Forum backups, I guess we already fell into that trap earlier. Suffice to say, from here on out, we're doing 4 websites / forum backups a day now. Now, Devin continues to say, replying to that guy, yes, it is true. They've been completely lazy with the game. This is shown by not only their ability to provide a patch worth something to the players, but the current stage of the game. Look how early this game is in development. A true developer would never release a game that currently has no objective rather than pointlessly running around for hours on hours collecting soup cans. On top of this, their professionalism, or lack thereof, only pushes the arrow farther in their knee. See what I did there? Unfortunately, I do. Okay. Now, this is some pretty damning evidence. This is terrible. So I'm going to link to the actual article so you can see the picture of him getting banned, and then the picture of him not requesting a refund. I will link to it in the chat. It has been linked to. You can go check it out. Now, I'm going to look at all these points here that really, really get on my fucking nerves. First off, probably the first one, which is just goddamn disgraceful, is I then made a post in the forums about how I knew this was coming and I was sorry and would not long be supporting a company that did not support their unpaid volunteer moderators that spent over 100 plus hours answering their customers' questions and concerns, as well as relaying them the ideas the community had for their bullshit game. That's just fucking douchey. I mean, like, I hate every time I hear about this, about these volunteer moderators who are unpaid and spend hundreds of hours helping out the customers. Like, literally, these are the guys that you send millions of requests to when you're playing World of Warcraft, telling them about how you're stuck and can't get out of a corner, or asking them to fix something. Those are those guys. Yeah, community managers, all that kind of shit. Those are the guys. And these who are working for WarZ aren't getting paid for it, and they aren't even getting supported. That's just silly. That's just absolutely silly. And I'm pretty sure... I mean... anyhow. And because of this, because he actually said this, he was then banned for making a rage quit thread, which is funny as shit. I mean, like, come on. It's a rage quit thread. But anyhow, regardless... thread permanent, and here's the even funnier part. My in-game account was banned under the excuse I requested a refund. I wonder who banned him! Now, all in all, though, besides the fact that this is really some incredibly horrible business moves against their own employees, I shouldn't even say employees, volunteers, the real evil comes in the next part. Alrighty. WarZ is a direct port over from War Inc. They literally took the game and added NPCs, made a large map, and changed around camera angles and gun settings while adding more functionality and switching over some things. All art, however, is actually done in-house by their amazing art team. The first two sentences are the main important things in that. WarZ is a direct port over from War Inc. They literally took the game and added NPCs, made a large map, and changed around camera angles and gun settings while adding more functionality and switching over some things. Those two sentences right there are one of the most important things. The other most important thing you're going to see is, if you go further down, you will see their anti-hacks and their plan to halt development and abandon the game in 6 months. I will get on to that in a second. First off, I want to go see just how much War Inc. cost. I'm fairly certain it was a free-to-play game. Okay. War Inc. 2008. Okay, that's a movie. Wrong thing. Alrighty. Free-to-play online shooter. Yes, it was free-to-play. Made by whoever the balls developed it. I can't even remember their name. Jesus Christ. And frankly, I just don't care. But yeah, War Inc. Free-to-play online shooter. Goes without saying. Now, if that is a free game, then what justifies WarZ as being so special that just because you added NPCs, that justifies a $30 price tag? Not to mention that, not only is there a $30 price tag, but there is also an in-game auction. I shouldn't even say in-game auction house. In-game, like, you can actually freaking, like, it has the same system, like, of real money transaction and all that shit that you would see in, like, Tribes Ascend or War Inc. itself or PlanetSide 2. It has that, hey, buy some gold coins and you can buy items in-game. But the only thing is, they do it so fucking retarded that you can actually buy some water and drink and supplies and all that shit. Why is that in a game that I've already paid for? Jesus Christ. You want to actually get more money after people have bought the game? Here's an idea. Add content to the game that's worth buying. Don't allow people to actually buy crap that gives them an edge over on players. At the end of the day, the actual thing is called free-to-play. And you know what? I'm sick of this whole idea of pay-to-win. We can't have that anymore. It's dumb. It's stupid. It needs to end. Moving on, though. This is really this is damning almost. They randomly ban accounts that have a certain amount of time spent playing in-game, knowing that they are hooked on the game, so they will rebuy the game. Holy fuck, is that terrible? Jesus Christ. That is freaking... That is probably the worst... These are some of the worst business practices I've ever seen from a company ever. Literally. I don't think I've ever seen a worse business practice come out of a company at any point ever. Ever. Banning accounts that have a certain amount of time spent playing in-game so that they will rebuy the game. Holy shit. How much do you want to fuck over your consumer base because you're doing a stellar job of it? Holy crap. And you wonder why nobody takes this company seriously, why you wondered why nobody takes Sergey Tito seriously, because he's an absolutely useless, incompetent tit, and a terrible disgrace of an executive manager, whatever the fuck his job is. You wonder why nobody takes him seriously? Because they are pulling bullshit like that with their consumer base. That said, moving on to the next bit of it. Please, and just seeing that alone should be enough to not buy the game. But there's more! Anyhow, it goes on to say, their anti-hack is actually functional, but here's the kicker. Want to know why their bans are temporary the first time around? 0.8% hacking? Try an extremely large portion of the player base is hacking. If they banned everyone, they'd have a mass refund on the issue on their hands, and don't want to play their piss-poor excuse of a game. Now, this, in a way, could be a smart business move on them, but at the same time, it also fucks over the player base that is not hacking. A temporary ban. Really? If a person is hacking, they get banned. That should be said permanently. If they do get banned, here's the thing. Even if it's a permanent ban, you could always leave an appeal. The thing is, you don't give a temporary ban if you assume someone's hacking. But of course, they have to pull in that money, because as we've seen, money is the most important thing to this merry band of fuckfaces, because not only are they willing to do this, they're also willing to make people rebuy the game after banning their accounts. And people get pissed off with the amount of hackers in DayZ. Jesus Christ. At least the hackers in DayZ actually do get banned. Albeit not a lot of them, but you know what, at the very least, DayZ isn't, or Rocket or Bohemia, or whoever is actually in control of DayZ at the moment now, isn't trying to use and exploit the hackers to get money! Anyhow. And the final one that really grinds my gears, the one that really gets under my skin the most, is they plan to halt development and abandon the game in 6 months if revenue is not enough for them. Really? As in, people are not buying enough fucking gold coins and spending the fuck out of it. He finishes off the article by saying, take note, if they do not have enough revenue, they already have enough revenue to pay for the game development for over a year at this point in time already, but if they don't get enough to give themselves regular raises, they will stop making the game and shut down the servers and website. Now, I can understand that, if it wasn't for the rest of the things that I've seen here. I mean, you gotta put a roof over your employees' heads, you gotta pay their food, you gotta do all that shit. At the end of the day, you have bills to pay. But, you know what, I just don't care. When it comes to the amount of shit I've seen this company do at this point, I honestly don't care about any excuse they do, because I honestly doubt that they have honorable intentions at heart there, and really it's just, we want to get more money. Honestly, they are going to halt development and abandon the game in 6 months, and revenue is not enough for them. Let's see, when was WarZ released? WarZ release date. Okay. The WarZ release date for PC, if it actually tells me. It doesn't tell me there! Excellent! Okay, let's back up and look again. In fact, I think this game might even still be an alpha. Oh, release date October 31st. There you go. Okay. So the actual full release date, or it just released literally quite, well, about a month ago almost. However, that said, it has been 1 month now. So, if they don't get enough revenue, they are going to shut down WarZ in 5 months. And you're probably wondering, oh, we're going through the break. No, I don't give a damn. We're going through the break to actually talk about this, because, you know what, some people actually have to point out this shit and actually say this is wrong. I am sick and tired of this fucking journalism where it is essentially, oh, we're gonna tiptoe around the hard issues. No, we're not tiptoeing around the hard fucking issues. This is wrong. This is an exploitative business model, and it is, at the end of the day, bullshit. You are screwing over and fucking over your consumer base. You do not get to do that as a company. As a company, or as a game development company and publisher, from the sounds of it, their sole purpose is to make a game and make the experience pleasurable for their consumers. They're not meant to screw over their consumers. They're not meant to fuck over their consumers. They're meant to provide a quality service to their consumers who have paid for their product. I hate when I see shit like this. I legitimately do. I hate when I see laziness in game development. Literally, a direct port over from War Inc. Are you serious? Yeah, and the funny thing is, they actually have the gall, they actually have the testicular fortitude to actually try and fucking say it took them 2 years of development to make this crap? Really? Do you honestly think your consumer base is stupid? Really? Do you think people who see that are stupid? Because trust me, they are not. 2 years to port over a large map and a few NPCs to War Inc. That took you 2 years. Really? No, I think the legitimate reason that we have all come to this conclusion now is that they said it took them 2 years so they could actually try and get up a leg up on DayZ, and so it didn't seem like a direct copy. Oh, and let's not forget the part where DayZ's Foundation update was completely copied by WarZ. The WarZ, they released a major patch. You want to know what it was called? The Foundation Update. Yeah, Rocket wasn't too pleased either. Who the fuck thought that was a good idea? I mean, you're not even trying to hide it at this point, WarZ, just how incompetent and useless of a company you are. It is a disgrace. You are what is wrong with the gaming industry. You should be ashamed of yourselves. You're fucking terrible. 2 years to make this, really. And I'm willing to settle on 5 months is probably what it took. They probably saw DayZ come out, saw the success, and they realized, oh, we should actually try and do the same thing, because you know what, we need to milk this cow as long as we can. Gotta get as much money off this bandwagon as humanly possible, right, guys? But at the end of the day, the most horrible thing that we're seeing here is this complete lack of support to their unpaid volunteer moderators who are spending over 100 hours answering their customers' questions, were their responsibility and concerns, as well as relaying the ideas the community had for the bullshit game of WarZ, which is, at every stretch of the imagination, a terrible game. The animations are terrible, the shooting is terrible, every facet of WarZ is a fucking disgrace. It's terrible. I hate this shit. No. I would say demand a refund from these guys. If I had the absolute power to just say this now, I'm giving you guys an appeal. Demand a refund. Do not give these people your money. Give that $30 to a consumer or a developer base who actually deserves it. Throw it towards something like Miasmata. Throw it towards something like the DayZ Standalone. Throw it towards people who actually care about their consumers, their customers, people that won't fuck you over. Because as you can see, these guys clearly are going to, by planning to halt development and abandon the game in 6 months if revenue is not enough for them. They're anti-hacks. Yada, yada, yada. And oh, don't forget the part where if you actually put enough hours into this game, they're just going to completely ban your account, so you're going to have to re-buy the thing anyways. Don't give these people your money. Don't. Seriously. Buck up, get some testicular fortitude, grow a spine, and do not give these people your money. Do not give it to people who deserve it. Miasmata, DayZ, people who actually will look out for you. Give it to OX18C, who Notch is working on right now with that space sim. Give it to people who actually care about the consumer base and actively try to make the gaming industry better. Who actively try to make it a little bit more friendly. Instead of these people who go into it solely for money. Now, I can understand that. You have to pay bills, you have to put food on your employees' tables and all that good shit. You have to pay their salaries, you have to pay the bills, you have to pay rent, all that shit. I can understand this, but at the end of the day, this is absolutely abhorrent. This is terrible. This is a horrible business practice. This is absolutely taking advantage of your consumer base in the worst ways possible. These are some of the worst business practices I have ever seen from a company ever. I don't think I've ever seen a worse business practice than this. I was pissed off when I saw the Mass Effect 3 thing where they were giving away the From Ashes DLC. This infuriates me. This makes my blood boil. This is absolutely terrible. Do not give these people your $30. Ask for a refund. Let them keep their shitty fucking game. Because God knows these people should not be making money off of honest, hard-working individuals. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Anyhow. I really hate to see shit like this. I really, honestly do. I legitimately do. This is absolutely abhorrent business practice. Do not buy WarZ. Do not support this company. Please, for the love of God. This is a personal appeal from me to you. Do not support this company. Ask if someone can give me one positive example of something they've done for their consumer base. Please tell me, because I would love to see it. Because frankly, you know what I see? I see a company that is at its heart very soulless, does not care about their consumer base, and at the end of the day is only in it for the money and will completely exploit you and fuck you over, turn you over, and give it to you rough just so they can get more money out of you. Because God knows they really need it. It's absolutely terrible. Anyhow, that said, let's move on to the next article before my brain explodes from the sheer amount of just absolute inhuman indecency from that.